It just reached the pinnacle of their competitiveness against each other, and neither one would be denied.
It's Bird's turn. Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it.
It was a special moment, and
The bird can fly higher than the hawk. Didn't y'all have some slogans back then? Didn't y'all? Let's get it. We back. We got Larry Bird 50 Greatest Moments Part 2. So if you missed Part 1, go ahead and go to the channel, check out the playlist, and you'll be able to catch up on all the Larry Bird videos we posted so far. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell, and that way you don't miss out on no future videos. And everybody, be sure to like the video as well. That way we can get more people to come tune in and Larry Bird with us. But since I ain't been here and posted, let's get straight to this video and knock this out. That way we can get on to the next video, which somebody got to drop in the comments what y'all want to see. Let me know something as well. But in the meantime,
when going got tough, we came through. They came back on us, but not good enough.
But before Bird Celtics could celebrate that title, they would have to overcome a seemingly insurmountable 3-1 deficit against Julius Erving and the Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals.
we did a video on that too.
They had been in the identical position the year before, and Philly had come into Boston and closed them out in the 5th game.
But facing elimination, Larry and the Celtics refused to lose.
The reason why we was able to come back from being down 3-1, because of Larry. He never for 1 second let us believe that we could not win that series.
And then we get this extraordinarily dramatic and emotional Game 7. With 5 and change to go, Philadelphia's leading by 9. And the Celtics really looked dead in the water.
The last 5 minutes of that game, the referees just put their whistles in their pockets and said, you know, unless I see blood, I'm not calling anything.
Darryl Dawkins is absolutely and positively mauled by 3 different Celtics as he goes to the basket. No call. Bird comes out with the rebound, dribbles down the left side of the court, and decides to do something he didn't do very often. Bank it.
Bird's coming to the left. Stop and pop off the glass. It's gone. Austin leads 91-89.
that was typical Larry, rising to the occasion and wanting to take that big shot.
Big
That
shot,
put us
Larry. I
into the
told y'all.
finals. It was just another great moment, and to be part of it, it was a very special time and place.
And it's over. They won 3 in a row. They came from 3 of 1 down, and they have won the series. It's all over.
Game 6, Boston versus Houston, 1986. The fans were in the building, in their seats, all 15,000 of them, chanting, Larry, 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 MVP, MVP. Comes back in the locker room before the game and he says, guys, the fans, they're in their seats and they want blood. Right now, they want the blood of the Houston Rockets. But if we don't deliver today, they're gonna want our blood. So let's get going here.
Bird carries out the game plan, and the Rockets want to know what hit
Great
him.
pass.
And then Larry went out and painted the ultimate Bird masterpiece.
Bird's been marvelous.
It's tough.
Larry Bird was so hot that day, he would take the ball and dribble out to the three-point line and hit fadeaway threes as he runs back down the court. We are the champions.
Bird goes in a 3-point land. He makes it a 28-point lead. Pandemonium blows in this garden. Pandemonium right now.
One thing we did this year is play hard. We knew we had a lot of talent, but we came to play every night. And in the game today, we knew we had it because it was very aggressive and took the
Man
game
had
right
a
away
triple
from us.
double.
When we would go on these long West Coast road trips, Larry would always announce to the Boston Globe before we left that, okay, it's a 7 or 8 game trip. We're going to win them all. I'm going to average 42 points, 21 rebounds, 13 assists. And then he would go out and do all this.
Ooh, tough bucket.
And at the end of one of the trips, He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip. And Larry told all of us players and the media too, we were all standing around waiting to leave. He said, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed at least through 3 quarters. And at the end of 3 quarters, the next night in Portland against poor Jerome Kersey, he had 27 points left-handed.
So there it is right there. I know a lot of people have this big debate where they say Larry Bird played the whole game left-handed, but I think after Bill Walton tells the story, it was 3 quarters left-handed, and then in the 4th quarter, if the game was too close, he would go back to his right hand and, finish off the game with his right hand. So, that just go ahead and nip that whole debate in the bud. I know a lot of people have been in the comments talking about that. So now we know that he scored 27 points with his left hand for 3 quarters, and then I think he still scored some more in the 4th, but predominantly he went back to his right hand just to make sure that they didn't lose that game. But that's just crazy that I've said this before. When you talk about GOATs and what they've done, they've done this, they've done that, because everybody got their own different GOAT. Larry Bird really just walked into arenas and just said, man, you know what, I'm about to have me some fun today randomly, and I'm about to just, what's the highest scoring record in here to Danny Ainge? Who scored the most points in here? I'm about to break that record. Like, just for the fun of it, you know what I mean? That's how good he was. And he would do this and come to these terms before the game, not having the stats being padded or having everybody depending on you or anything like that from, when you're on the court and you're playing against competitors. Larry Bird walk in there and just know, okay, I got to play against these competitors, but I don't care. I'm about to still play the game for 3 quarters left-handed. Like, just making fun of it, looking for different challenges and obstacles that he can get over. That's why I honestly continue to say that Larry Bird is the greatest of all time, because I've always been a basketball player that's dependent on my intellect more than my skill. I never depended on, anything, my quickness on the basketball court or my shooting ability on the basketball court, or maybe I had long arms, which I do. I never depended on that. I've always depended on my intelligence, and that's what I see when I watch Larry Bird play, is that he's a real intelligent basketball player. So shout out to Larry Bird again. Send them likes up for Larry Bird. Let's try to get to 15 likes again in this video. Also, if you're still here, you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on no more videos. Oh, matter of fact, I lied. Hit the subscribe button and turn your notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on none of my future Larry Bird videos. Like I said before, also drop some in the comments if y'all want to see me post more whole games. We can do that as well. But I'm going to get back to the video. I want to talk y'all heads off.
And it was a remarkable performance.
It was.
For Celtic fans, Larry Bird had come to represent not only excellence, but hope. There was a feeling that no matter how bad things looked, as long as Larry was there, everything was going to turn out all right in the end. But that belief in Bird would be severely tested in the 1988 playoffs against the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta had these young guys, and they were athletic, and the Celtics were old, and they weren't the team they were a couple years ago, and you sort of had a feeling that was going to be the beginning of the end for the Celtics.
The Hawks were led by their superstar, Dominique Wilkins.
Dominique was a gifted athlete. I mean, he was the human highlight film, and that was for real.
Leading 3-2, the Hawks came within a basket of closing out the Celtics in Game 6.
They looked death in the face and dodged the bullet.
Well, they had their chance. They had a big chance to beat us. I think now that we're going to come out and play like we did tonight, but we're going to be at home. And our shots are going to be dropping a little bit better, and we're going to be running a little bit faster. So I'd say Sunday's going to be a big win for the Celtics.
Basically, he was saying it was over. I thought we were going to win the game. I really did. I didn't think they could stop Neek in that game. I had that much confidence in him.
And for 3/4 of Game 7, that confidence was rewarded. Wilkins.
Wow.
As Wilkins and the Hawks seemed on the verge of beating Boston.
Let's go back real quick.
Quarters.
Neek in that game.
Did he shoot the ball?
I had that much confidence in him.
And for 3/4 of Game 7, that confidence was rewarded. Wilkins. As Wilkins and the Hawks seemed on the verge of beating Boston. But in the fourth quarter, Bird would answer Wilkins' challenge.
Bird now cuts free. Putting Boston ahead. Here's Wilkins. And that's what they must have. Cuts free. Left hands in for the field goal.
Tough bucket.
Celtics back on top.
Larry was torturing him on the offensive end, and Dominique was torturing me on when he had the ball. I said, Bird, don't, you got them all riled up now. I said, I'm having a hell of a time guarding them.
Mano duel, Bird versus Wilkins.
Dominique hits a three. Ties it for Atlanta.
The three he made in the left corner, I can still see that, was just a big shot that he didn't have any room.
Big shot, Larry.
Larry Bird promised it, and he is delivering in this quarter with 18 points. In deep to Dominique. Wilkins responds. With Bird again pulling up.
It's a duel. Put down your saber.
It just reached the pinnacle of their competitiveness against each other, and neither one would be denied.
It's Bird's turn. Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it.
It was a special moment, and
The bird can fly higher than the hawk. Didn't y'all have some slogans back then? Didn't y'all?
in sports where you see these two guys that were just making one more difficult shot after the other, keeping their teams in the game.
Who's going to blink first?
And Dominique high off the glass.
Dominique actually scored the most points, but Larry Bird scored the big points down the stretch of that game.
Is this a critical trip for the Atlanta Hawks? This is a great defensive move by Bird as he steals the ball for the Celtics. Lead to Bird off the fake, improves his position, and the Celtics
Turn back and get the point. Crazy.
One way or another, Bird kills you.
I just knew that we had to stop this guy, but it was Larry Bird. We never did.
We sort of had a feeling that Atlanta
Bird's
might take
nest.
over their role as the ruler of the East. And that afternoon, Larry just said, well, maybe you will do that, but you're not going to do it here, and you're not going to do it in my building.
Another defensive stop, a must here for the Hawks. Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. Bird for the layup.
Hey, Bird was strong. That's what a lot of people don't understand. He wasn't just like flimsy and flaky and getting pushed around. He was strong. He was a strong basketball player. So, to the people that I got into a debate with about Larry Bird against Charles Barkley and all of this other stuff, man, come on now. Come on now. Listen, we know Charles Barkley is a great, he may not have made it into the Hall of Fame. Or, man, I think he did make it into the Hall of Fame. He may not have won a championship ring, but we know Charles Barkley is Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? I ain't taking nothing away from him. Shout out to Charles Barkley, but come on, man. The guy that commented on my post, come on, don't come to my channel disrespecting Larry Bird like that, though, man. Come on now. Charles Barkley, I looked up the stats. I looked it up. I looked up the stats. I looked up the size. Charles Barkley was 252 pounds, 6'6". Larry Bird was 220 pounds and 6'10". Come on now. Don't do that. And he was going to get you from beyond the arc. So that meant his game was versatile. He can come in, get the buckets underneath the basket. But majority of the times, you had to worry about him getting his points away from the basket, which brings you from the bucket, and you can't defend. So now you got to come out there, and he blow by you. He's strong and gets an easy boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? He gonna finish because he already a top finisher at that point in time in the league. But yeah, shout out to Larry Bird again, man. I respect everybody's opinion, but the other guy that, like I said, if you guys aren't aware of what happened on one of the shorts that I created about Charles Barkley and whatever the case may be, y'all can go check it out and see the comments. Dude was on there saying some crazy stuff, and I'm just had to speak up about it again because it was unnecessary. You know what I mean? It's simple. You can get on the internet and look it up yourself and see exactly what's going on in order to understand why I'm saying these things. So, yeah, shout out to Bird, shout out to Charles Barkley. But, yeah, don't come for me if you don't know what you're talking about, straight up. Because I'm coming in here and learning as much as I can so I can know what I'm talking about.
Watching what greatness is all about.
The moment when we absolutely needed it, he just took it upon himself to play as perfect as he ever played.
Wilkins had seen the best of Larry Bird, but 1988 would be Larry's last healthy season. And by 1991, age and injury but as the second quarter drew to a close, disaster would strike.
Bird had it knocked away by Sanders. Harris on the recovery. Bird is hurt. Bird is down, and he's hurt.
It was a thud when he hit that floor. You heard that boom. The breath went out of that building because they thought that, that was it.
He got rocked to the floor as he was going to get that loose ball.
When we went at halftime, he was in the training room. So nobody knew anything, and was he going to play anymore, or was he all done?
As the second half began with Bird in the locker room,
And then he lost it to the open floor.
the Pacers looked to put them away.
They know the leader is not on the floor. Someone needs to step up now for Boston.
The Celtics were in trouble. The younger, more agile Pacers definitely were in position to win that game.
And here comes Larry Bird.
Then all of a sudden, here comes Larry, and the garden erupted. The savior was back.
Bird is on the bench. He's got the warm-up jacket on. Listen to the crowd.
I got the sense that the Pacers were stunned to see him there, and that they thought, holy shit, what's going to happen now?
Mid-court outlet goes to Bird. Bird spots up from 20. Reggie Miller's shot rebounded by Bird, who rips it down for Bird. And he is back in the ball game.
From a psychological standpoint, having our leader back on the court gave us a tremendous adrenaline push.
Bird ahead of the field.
In his dramatic return, Bird gave the Celtics new life. And
shooting 1,000 jump shots a day, so I was out there shooting 1,000. I knew he was working on his game every summer, and I had to work on my game every summer. He wins the Rookie of the Year, I win the championship. And then we just went on from there. I always want to have one up on Larry, and he's going to try to have one up on myself.
Just in case y'all don't know, y'all new to the channel, that video right there where you see Magic Johnson talking about that is a documentary called The Courtship of Rivals. Like I was telling you at the beginning of the video, go to the playlist and check out the reaction that I did to the whole Courtship of Rivals documentary. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out real quick for anyone that hasn't know that. Maybe I might even drop it at the end of this video, so just stay tuned. Watch for the video to end, and you'll be able to click the button at the end of the video, and you can go straight to that one.
That's what it's about. That's what a true rivalry is about.
Larry Bird was beloved by the entire city of Boston, and all Celtic fans knew that it was part of their tradition to beat the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. It was a tradition Larry desperately wanted to uphold, and the fact that his main rival, Magic Johnson, was the leader of the Lakers made him want it even more. In 1979, Bird lost to Magic in the NCAA Finals, and from that moment on, they'd be forever linked.
It was always Magic Bird, Magic Bird. Ever since Indiana State and Michigan State played, it's been that way.
And in 1984, they'd finally meet in the NBA Finals.
Shout out to the
It was an
Midwest.
incredible build-up, and the world was watching, because now it finally came down to these two players that are looked at somewhat as saviors of the league in Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, coming together for the first time to do battle.
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
As the series opened, it was the Lakers who would enjoy it at the Celtics' expense as they raced to a 2-1 series lead.
Waves, it was waves of fast break. It was a track meet.
We weren't going to let Larry Bird and his crew beat Magic and his crew. It was just that simple.
The Celtics cannot handle the speed of the Lakers.
We were taking hooks, body shots. We were in the clinch. That's all we could do was stand against the ropes and just take it.
This has to be one of the most decisive routes in championship game history.
We went in the locker room and Larry made the famous statement that we play like sissies.
We got some great players on this team, but we don't have the players with the heart sometimes that we need.
I was sitting right next to him. And he said in his mad, angry Indiana accent.
Today, when you see Magic slapping high fives and guys going behind their back and shooting layups on us all day long, it seems that somebody would try to put a stop to it. But until we get our hearts where they belong, we're in trouble.
He challenged all of our manhood publicly, and he had never done that before.
He said, hey, we need to meet these guys in the parking lot and start the fight out there.
This is not the marching down, boys.
This is marching on to victory. That's what it is.
We got in each other's face to a man and said there will be no more layups. No more layups in this series.
Cooper to Kareem, to Worthy, to Randall. He should go the distance. Oh! And you knew this was going to happen. You could see it coming.
When you can't catch something, you got to knock it down, to slow it down. And that's what they did. And just all hell broke loose.
Kareem swings the elbow, and now is Gillen and Larry Bird, jaw to jaw. Larry and Kareem got into it, and then Larry was taking the ball out of bounds. Michael Cooper was trying to guard him. Larry kicked him back and kicked him into the stands. It was awesome.
It was a great strategy move to take us out of our game. And mentally, we were not there because we were trying to fight them instead of play basketball.
I like how
With
Magic
Larry
put
leading
that.
the way, Boston would claw their way into overtime. Now it was the Lakers who were reeling, and Larry was ready to deliver the knockout blow.
I like how Magic put that, because the Lakers were more so fast-paced, flashy, just get their buckets like that. The Boston Celtics were more so strategic and always calm, cool, and collective about the way that they got their buckets, especially when the person that they're depending on is a basketball genius, and he's using all of his intellect in order to score. So I like the way that he put that, because once you get into a person's head, you really can't focus. And what Boston specialized in was focusing, even all the way to the last seconds of the game, no matter what the score was. So I like the way that Magic put it that way, because that's the truth. I think that's what really happened. I think they started to get too aggressive, and they started thinking more about fighting, and this person, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, instead of focusing on scoring. On the other hand, Boston, they could be in a tussle with a person and still always have that number one thing on mind. Okay, we got the ball, take our time. You think about it. You talk about how DJ was the floor general, or the facilitator, because he always came down and took his time, and so on and so forth. And same thing with Bird. On the other hand, the Lakers, they get the ball, they straight to the bucket. They going down there, and Magic doing all of these extra moves. Throw the ball, act like you throw it this way, throw it that way, do all this extra flashy stuff. You ain't thinking right when somebody that's already elbowed you, this and that. Now you coming down, instead of thinking about where you about to dish the ball at, you thinking about I'm about to get elbowed, I'm about to get fouled, it's about to be a fight, it's about to make it. So yeah, they got into their head. Shout out to Magic, the Lakers, Boston, and Larry Bird for being two great teams. Like they always say, they changed the NBA in the time where the NBA was basically plummeting. So yeah, shout out to them again. If you still here, make sure you like the video, and let's get back to it. Yeah, almost finished.
Gets it over to DJ. Bird goes right into the pivot. Now DJ holds the ball. Back in the Bird. The fall away is gone. Oh my God,
too easy. That's the game.
God, that's what a play.
It was almost like vindication for Larry Bird that, hey, you might have won during college, but you know what? Here's my opportunity now.
Boston Celtics have even this NBA World Championship Series at 2 games apiece. We're coming back. That's right. We're coming back. We'll be back.
Larry, last time you closed it saying you guys played like sissies. What's the word you use for the team now from this game?
Well, we just play like a bunch of women tonight. We can still play a lot harder.
Bird was not letting up on his teammates, for sure.
Friday, June 4th, 1984, and the temperature at game time inside the Garden is 97 degrees Fahrenheit, and there was no air conditioning.
It was almost unbearable. It really was. By far, I've spent time in Texas. I've lived in Texas. I've never been that hot. It was smothering.
Ooh, you thought you was in this, a sauna.
Kareem had to have the oxygen tank because I guess the altitude, he's so tall.
While we were all out there dying, from you can't breathe, it was 100 degrees in Boston Garden. He looked fresh as a daisy.
Here's Larry Bird chugging down the court.
Good give and go.
Larry Bird. This game is Larry Bird's. I mean, he's doing everything.
Full second! Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it!
We asked Larry about it, and he said, "Oh hell, it's hotter back home playing at French Lick." It was completely magnificent in that game because it just showed mind over matter. Larry Bird went 15 for 20, had 34 points and 17 rebounds, and that was the defining game of that series.
The Boston Celtics trounced the Los Angeles Lakers 121.
You have to give both teams tremendous credit for playing a 48-minute steam bath. It seems as though they held up a little better than we did. The man who made the difference tonight was Mr. Bird.
Comes down to Game 7, Boston Garden, the first Game 7 against the Lakers since 1962 in Boston. And Bird, I mean, the whole thing coming to a peak. It was a very, very highly anticipated game of basketball.
With the title within their grasp, Boston seized it. Larry had waited 5 years to settle his score with Magic, and now he'd finally done it in a series for the ages.
We went through the tough of the tough. We went through the Lakers to get there.
Absolutely no one believed it. But the fact of the matter is, we believed in ourselves, and that was a lot because of the leadership Larry had.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champion.
I told Larry Bird, the way you played in that series, the way you conducted yourself and the way you played made me proud to be a Celtic.
Larry Bird, congratulations. You were the most valuable player. Does this get you even with Magic for what happened between Michigan State and Indiana State all those many years ago?
Yeah, we're professionals now, but I won this one for Terre Haute.
I just hate any time playing against Larry. I want to win at anything. I hate losing to him. So don't bring it up no more.
The Larry Bird retirement ceremony. They had it on a night when there was no game. That's how special, that's how popular, that's how great Larry Bird is. They filled the Boston Garden, and you couldn't get a ticket. Magic comes out, and it was just great, and he had the Celtic t-shirt on underneath, and the speech that Magic gave.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
To have all the fans come back, to pay tribute, and to say thank you. There was nothing like that on earth.
Tonight, my basketball career is officially over, and I had a blast. So tonight I leave. I leave basketball forever. I leave a game that I loved. Sorry, but I'm gone. History. I dedicated my life to basketball, and I dedicated my life to the Boston Celtics. So, I say good night, Boston, and may God bless each and every one of you. Good night.
Red, you want to say something?
What I want to say is, you know how it feels because you've been here before. Me, I haven't scored a point.
Yeah, but you kind of brought the guys here that scored the points.
Well,
so you're overpaid.
So you're overpaid.
There were so many qualities that made Larry Bird a great player, but it was his unshakable will that was the most important. And on the tension-filled night of May 26, 1987, when the Pistons and Celtics met in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, that will was on display for all to see. With the series tied at 2, Bird would have to reach back for some vintage Celtic magic as the Pistons seized control in the game's final seconds.
Seasting bumps him a couple of times. Isaiah nails it top of the key with 17 seconds to go, and the Celtics call time. Detroit by 1, 17 seconds, so Boston goes for the final shot.
On the left it goes to Bird. Bird guarded by Mahorn. Drives around him. Goes on in. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by Aina. No, they call it the other way.
When we lost the last opportunity to score by throwing the ball away, the game was over. The Celtics had lost.
Yeah.
I think that the Celtic fans, I think that most of the arena and the Detroit Pistons forgot Larry Bird hadn't quit.
Thomas wants to get it in quickly.
Saves it. Ooh. Change the game. The whole crowd crazy. The plot twist of that story was crazy. And sent Detroit
So many
home.
players, they just wouldn't think that there's still a chance. And the fact that he made it happen.
Johnson finished it too, yo. He could have missed that.
I think that that's the single greatest play in Larry's career. It's just another sign that Larry was just, destined or determined. I think it's a combination of both for him to be involved in so many special plays in his career.
The man couldn't even get to the locker room. That's how many people was out there.
The old Boston Garden is gone now, and Larry Bird is retired. But the memories that he gave to the people of Boston and basketball fans around the world will live on forever. From all of us here at NBA TV, happy birthday, Larry.
Shout out to Larry Bird, man. 50 greatest moments, man. And to be honest with you, there are more than 50 greatest moments of Larry Bird. He's always doing something spectacular. But we are at the end of this video, so be sure to drop some in the comments what y'all think about the things that I said. I know we talked about a few different things. Not all on the topic of just Larry Bird. I brought up some other stuff as well. But make sure y'all drop some in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the video. What was y'all best part about the video? Was it the end? Was it the middle? Was it the beginning? Let me know something. But other than that, y'all stay tuned. Turn notification bells on for the next video that I'm dropping. Maybe I might check out one of these other videos on here where we got Larry Bird savagely talk, trash talk Magic Johnson. And Larry Bird trash talk legendary Lakers coach. Was that Pat Riley? You never know. Might be checking out one of those videos. Send them likes up. Drop some in the comments what y'all want to see. And other than that, y'all, peace.